All right, all nonprofits, listen up. Central Carolina Community Foundation is announcing the registration for Midlands Gives Day 2022. And Elizabeth Houck joins us to tell us what you need to do so that you can participate. Aren't you excited? Another year coming up, huh?
Another year, it's year 9. Can you believe it?
Unbelievable. And I understand that more and more nonprofits are getting acclimated to the idea that this is where it starts.
Absolutely. And we're really excited for that because it's been a couple of years with the year-round platform in addition to our annual Giving Day, Midlands Gives Day. That's that first Tuesday in May each year. So it's exciting to see that more people are realizing that this is an opportunity to build capacity for their nonprofit, have a fundraiser that they can continue, having support for their nonprofit throughout the year. And it's a great place for people in our community to be everyday philanthropists and learn more about different causes and different nonprofit work that's happening throughout the 11 counties of the Midlands, and all just on midlandsgives.org. So it's exciting to have it all in one place, and we're happy that more people are getting involved and interested in getting involved.
Now, for those people who don't know what Midlands Gives is, could you just kind of highlight what people can expect?
That's one of our most frequent questions. So Midlands Gives Day is an 18-hour online giving day and giving challenge, really, through the online giving platform, midlandsgives.org. And it's hosted by Central Carolina Community Foundation, which serves the 11 counties of the Midlands.
Give us information on how they can participate this year.
Of course. So the first step is going to be visiting midlandsgives.org. And right there on the homepage, there's a button that says register. Registration is open. So you can go on, learn everything you need to know about eligibility requirements for your nonprofit so that you can participate. And there's different steps for new nonprofits who've never participated in Midlands Gives or didn't participate this last year, as well as for returning nonprofits. So those are ones who participated in this last May's Giving Day.
And so, Elizabeth, how many nonprofits are you expecting this
That's a
time?
great question. So we are actually up to 485 nonprofits currently. We know that this past May there were around 480. We actually did a special invitation to our Black-led and benefiting nonprofits this past Black Philanthropy Month, which happens every year in August, and there were a few who joined the platform there. So I am thinking that we are going to be able to expand. My guess is that it might actually be over 500, but don't want to hold me to that. It just seems that this effort to raise funds for nonprofits is increasing, and which is understandable because there are some nonprofits who, in this past year with the pandemic, almost 2 years now, really, they've seen their fundraising change, their relationships with donors change, and really need these funds in order to support these essential services in our community. Whether there's all kinds of causes on Midlands Gives, so that's everything from environment and arts and culture to animals, and so they really touch on every factor of our lives, and a lot of them need that additional support at this time. And there's even a few nonprofits that some people realized in this past year that they really wanted to get their nonprofit in order and make sure that it became an official nonprofit, not just an organization or a crew of people doing important work in our community. So we'll see what happens.
Now, talk to donors and let us know what donors need to know about the process for Midlands Gives Day versus being a part of it year round.
Sure, that's a great question. So the most important thing and the piece of feedback we get from a lot of our donors every year is actually how simple Midlands Gives is. I know that sometimes when people hear the word philanthropist, they think, well, that's not me, right? We a lot of times have our idea of what a philanthropist is and looks like. And what I really encourage people is to say, well, you can be a philanthropist for as minimal as $10. People can be philanthropists in their time, their talents, their money, their treasure, of course, and even their community ties of people that they know in their community and that kind of thing. That's all part of the pillars of philanthropy. Of course, through Midlands Gives platform, we are mostly focusing on raising those dollars for nonprofits because we know that that's needed to do the work. But there is also an opportunity to volunteer if you want to express volunteer interest with the nonprofit that you're giving to. That's another way to get involved and even maximize your donation even further of being giving of your time. And it's really works very similar to online shopping, which may seem a little surprising to some, but once you're on the platform, you can actually just add the donations to different nonprofits to one cart. And it's a simple one-step shopping process. So you can create an account. So you can even do things like setting up a recurring donation if you know that there's a nonprofit you want to continue supporting on a monthly or quarterly basis, as well as learning about other nonprofits. So when you're in that checkout, it'll show you, hey, you wanted to give to this nonprofit. Here's another nonprofit maybe to consider. And it's a great way to continue learning about the work that's going on in our communities. Another great thing for donors to know is that all your donations go to the nonprofit directly. So Central Carolina Community Foundation does not make any money from your donations. There is just the credit card fee and technology fee that's through the platform, but we actually receive no fees from Midlands Gives. So you know that your dollars are going directly to support that nonprofit. There is an option to cover those fees so that it's not taken out on the nonprofit side of things. And we know that many of our donors do that actually, which is nice to make sure that those nonprofits don't have to take the brunt of those fees. And like I mentioned earlier, this is a really easy way for donors to get involved and support nonprofits in their community and find different causes and connect their interests with their support in a really tangible way in order to support supporters.
And Elizabeth, also, we have so many wonderful philanthropists here in our state, and just remind us the total last year.
Yes, so actually, a really exciting thing about Midlands Gives is that it builds momentum on itself. And so this past year, we actually raised over $3.34 million for 480 nonprofits here in the Midlands. And that was across all 11 counties. And so we're really excited to be able to announce that. And it was a record-breaking year, which I know for many is surprising because we are still in this ongoing pandemic. We know that there's been a lot of struggle, a lot of strife this past year. And so it was very, very exciting, heartwarming to see people in our community come together in a way that is, bigger than ever. And we know that it comes from the heart. So we're so grateful for that.
Exactly. Central Carolina Community Foundation. It is Midlands Gives Day, May 3rd, 2022. Nonprofits, now is the time for you to get registered. And we just can't wait for the day. Elizabeth, thank you so much always. It's a pleasure having you on the show. And we wish you much success.
Likewise. Well, thanks so much for having me, Koko. I know that you have a special care for nonprofits in our community, so it's great to be able to share this, and I appreciate you sharing your time.
Thank you. I can't tell you how many people tell me after the actual Midlands Gives Day, I didn't know about it. How did I get involved? So that's why I'm really excited, because you guys, this is going to be the starting point for Midlands Gives Day on how you can get in on the ground floor. So walk us through what nonprofits need to do. Now, for those people who don't know about Midlands Gives, could you highlight what they can expect? What was a question that I asked about um, something about 2020 this year? This year. So, how many, and Elizabeth, about how many nonprofits are you expecting in 2022? Midlands Gives Day, May 3rd. Midlands Gives Day. Registration now open for Midlands Gives Day. Registration now open for Midlands Gives Day, May 3rd. Central Carolina Community Foundation's registration now for Midlands Gives Day, May 3rd, 2022. Elizabeth, thank you very much for your time. We do appreciate this. Um, all right, Elizabeth Houck, Central Carolina Community Foundation, opening registration now for Midlands. All right, Elizabeth Houck, Central Carolina Community Foundation, opening the. All right, Elizabeth Houck, Central Carolina Community Foundation, opening the Midlands Gives Day registration now through January 7th. All right, again, Elizabeth Houck. Once again, Elizabeth Houck, Central Carolina Community Foundation, opening registration for Midlands Gives May 3rd, 2022. Registration deadline is January 7th. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for your time. Again, Elizabeth Houck, Central Carolina Community Foundation. Registration now open for Midlands Gives Day, May 3rd, 2022. And the registration deadline is January 7th. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Always great talking with you. Thank you, Jesus.